For lab 8.1, we're going to swap values around. Now again, we're going to use a simple example so we can really get the concept from the reading material. So I have the swap.py file opened in VS Code. That's over here. And we're going to write statements that test the first two integers and swap them. So you're going to enter integers, first, second, and third over here. So first number, let's see. So enter the first number, enter the second number, enter the third number. And then you're going to write test statements to see if one number is bigger than another. So you may remember we can do that. If I open up the Python prompt, let's set to first equals 15 and second equals 10. So you know which one is larger, right? But let's do a test. We'll just have Python tell us first bigger than second. So what do you think should happen here? Pause for a moment and run this code yourself if you're not sure. It's going to return true or false. So it tells us the first is bigger than the second. So in that case, we actually want to exchange the values. So I could say first equals second. But that's going to get messy because then I need a placeholder to put that while I store the message. I can actually just do a multi-assignment. First and second equals second and first. So I've reassigned these first, second. So now I can test again. Is first larger than second? And in this case, it should come out as false. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing for second and third, and we'll do the same thing again when we go back if we make a move. So let's check. Let's see what that looks like in a flow chart. So first you input from the user first, second, and third. So we'll use the values 15, 10, and 5 for this example. And you go to the first if statement. Is the first bigger than the second? Well, let's see. First is 15 and second is 10. So that's yes. So we're going to swap first and second. So now first is 10, second is 15, and third is still 5. So now we're going to continue on our flow chart. Is second bigger than third? Well, yes, it is. So we're going to swap the second and third. So now we have 10, 5, and 15. So we have to do one more test because now we move things around. We have to go and see, is first bigger than second again? Well, yes, it is. Let's swap it, and now we have the right values. So let's put that into our code over here. This program is already mostly written for me. All I have to do is come over here and say, is the first and second number. So let's do that. I'll say if first is greater than second, then we'll swap. So I'll use that multi-assignment. First and second equals second and first. Cool. And then let's go test the second number, which, we might have just swapped things around. And we'll say if the second is greater than the third number, then we're going to swap those around and say second and third is equal to third and second. Is that right? Okay. And then we have to go test that first number again, just like we did on the diagram. We did the first and second, we did the second and third, and now let's go back and test the first and second again. So we'll go over here, and actually it's just the same code, so let's just run that. If the first and second, okay, so then we'll swap that out, and we'll print this. So let me hit save, and let's go run swap.py. There it is, so Python 3, swap.py. It was asking me to enter some numbers. Now in the homework, it says execute the program using the following sets of input values and record the output. So I'm going to enter 101, 22, and negative 23. And the code ran through and sorted that. But then you have to do it again and again. So do with 630, 1509, 21, 2, and 2. Be sure to copy all the output and all the code into the assignment.